Hello and welcome to my channel and welcome to my thoughts on Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Episode 5, The Doctor. And careful for spoilers. Okay, the first thing, apologies for there not being a proper reaction. I did finally get one up. It's on my other channel. It's a full reaction, but without the picture-in-picture at the bottom. So it's audio only. For those interested, link is at the bottom. Right, first thing I want to discuss is, well, it was about Dr. Whale. That much was obvious. Although, to be quite honest, when the episode started, when I did my initial introduction, which you never got to see, I was dubious about whether they were going to throw us a curveball. And instead of being about Dr. Whale, it was in fact going to be about Dr. Hopper or something like that. But it was about Dr. Whale. And this is the story of how I realised who we were talking about. So the first two clues came very quickly. The first one was the title sequence. And the second one was in the opening scene after the title sequence, in which David and Dr. Whale are having a chat. The title was black and white and all thundery, so what was that?
People are saying that you're trying to find a way to build a portal back to your land.
Your land?
Emma and Mary Margaret are, that they're alive.
Well,
So he's from a different land.
I have no secrets
That
from this
all the lands still exist?
He's not from the Enchanted Forest.
Possibly.
Now, you see, that got my mind thinking. He's not from this land. I did pick up on that very, very quickly, as did most people. Next clue came a little bit later, and it was when Rumpelstiltskin and Regina were having a chat, and then Jefferson comes along and he tells Regina about a wizard. Now, I realise now that Jefferson was only trying to describe Dr. Whale in the only language he knew, but I took it literally, and I did think they were talking about a different wizard.
Bring back the dead. He's, you might say, a wizard. I can bring him to you.
No. No.
Always a process.
Ooh, what?
Like I said, I'm a man of travels, and I've made many enemies along the way. And I'd like a royal passport.
There's many wizards. Don't get your hopes up, Wilson.
To traverse your kingdom.
Yes, at that point I thought they were talking about the great and powerful Wizard of Oz. Well, I thought, no, everything's possible. You can't rule anything out. And it is just as likely. But then, obviously, the revelation came when Regina found Dr. Whale with his arm cut off in the hospital. And he says what he says.
Did you bring him back?
Oh, I did it.
He's alive.
Yes. I brought him back. He's not dead.
What?
He's a monster.
Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein. Now, I know what you're thinking. You may think that this was a rather underrated reaction. It wasn't, oh my God, oh my God. Do you know why? It's because I didn't actually realise that Victor was Frankenstein. I'd made the connection that we was getting a Frankenstein-like story. But then again, we do get the Frankenstein story alluded to in so many media. It's slipped in TV programs and in films so often that I just thought it was just a passing Frankenstein reference. Oh, we're getting another Frankenstein-like monster creation sort of thing. I didn't really realise we was actually getting Frankenstein.
Check. pleasure doing business with you.
Oh, the
Sneaky
pleasure
little
was mine.
buggers.
Thanks to your efforts, I've made my mark. Now I do hope.
He's Frankenstein all over.
I'm not making a monster.
Sure you're not. Good luck.
In the Enchanted Forest, I thought that was very interesting, especially Emma taking control again. And with Hook trying to, well, he's backstabbing here, there and everywhere. Obviously left, supposedly for dead, for Emma and Snow and Mulan to find. In order to learn Emma's secrets of getting back, to learn more about her, for Cora. But now that he's been found out and he's admitted who he is to Emma and Snow, he seems to have betrayed Cora now and he's going off with Emma. But I wouldn't trust Hook as far as I could throw him. He's a devious little bastard. And I think he's going to backstab Emma even so. I think he's still going to try and backstab her. Him and Cora are well suited, I think. So let's discuss the monster, David. No, that's not his name. Daniel. I thought that was very interesting. It was also, again, nice to see the Queen's backstory, how she was taught by Rumpelstiltskin, and exactly what turned her into the evil Queen. I feel confident now that we have got the trigger point that turned her from the very kind and loving person that she was into the heartless, dictatorial queen that she became. It was because of Frankenstein's failure to bring Daniel back. And of course Rumpelstiltskin's constant taunts that she wasn't strong enough to take the next step. As Rumpel said at the end, he got his monster. On the subject of Regina turning, I did think that was very, very sad. The waiting and the keeping his body for all those years in the Enchanted Forest, and then bringing his body into our world, and all her attempts, and in the end she had to vaporise him. That was very, very sad. I really felt for Regina. You really get to the bottom of Regina's humanity in this episode. I know that's a contradiction because we also get to the root of her inhumanity as well. It's a very pivotal episode for Regina, I think. I'm still waiting to see how her and Henry's relationship improves, because in Storybook I can see there is a change in Regina. She has become softer since the beginning of this series, since Magic was released. She's being shown more and more to be the puppet, as they all are, and less the evil queen. I'm enjoying Regina's storyline in this. I'm enjoying seeing her soften up and seeing the humanity come back, to seeing that 18, 19, 20-year-old innocent girl that we saw in The Stable Boy sort of return. I like where that's going. But of course, Snow White and Emma are completely oblivious to this change, as they are trapped in the Enchanted Forest. I'd like that to come to a conclusion very soon. I think I mentioned that before. And that concludes my thoughts for The Doctor. Don't forget to check out the full reaction on my other channel. It is unlisted, so you will need the link that's at the bottom, somewhere in the description. Until next time, thank you for watching and goodbye. So, it definitely is Victor Frankenstein then. I was not expecting that. Hello, Eagle.
Doctor, you've returned. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes.
It's alive.
It's alive.
You did it. Victor, you did it.